Welcome to Tekken Steps, where I teach you concrete steps on how to improve in ranked for Tekken 8. I think I say this in every episode. It's easy to get focused on your points going up and down. I want to make it so you're more encouraged to focus on the actual skills that will make you play better in ranked. I'm wearing a red shirt because we're on the red rank episode. Remember how in the orange rank episode I said that my shirt actually did look orange? Compare it to this. It'll make sense. Got a bunch of fun replays for you today submitted by subscribers in my Discord. We have a returning Bryan player who was in the yellow rank episode. So that one's really exciting. I think that's seeing progress is a big motivator, not only for the person themselves, but for other people watching. We have a Tenryu Asuka player, a Garyu Jin, a Tenryu Yoshimitsu, and a Tenryu Lili. Now the idea is I wanted a mix of aggressive characters, defensive characters, and then different play styles so we could see the different ways people are succeeding and failing. By the way, if you don't play any of the characters in this list, don't worry about it. The lessons are very generalized. So you can learn something from each of these players based on the style they're playing or the tendencies they have. So enjoy the video. First up, Pot Friend, formerly known as Elo Donator, has made some big strides in his Bryan gameplay. There's going to be a lot of text. I didn't mean to look at his profile. There's going to be a lot of text in these notes. I recommend watching the gameplay with me, and then we'll get to the text after, okay? Watch the gameplay first. I'll go through the notes one by one as we finish, all right? So Elo Donator was struggling a lot in the yellow ranks in the last time we saw him. And when I pulled up his replays here, the difference was actually astounding. Let's take a look right away. The Bryan on the right. QCB1, counter hits, drops the combo, but he's still learning. 1-2-1. So already he's showing a bunch of different moves. QCF 1+2, these huge Bryan moves that are really hard to deal with. Okay, and that's a good start. Watching somebody better than you, he watches a lot of Tone, Hide Tone, a high-level Bryan player, and it's already started to change the moves that he's using. Seeing a lot of 1-2-1, see a spring kick that gets 2 spring kicks that get blown up. And the QCF 1+2 already is doing a lot. So he loses the first round, but the move selection is already so much better. Okay, sidestep 2-1. QCF 1+2. Leroy is just having trouble getting around these giant moves. And that's going to be the first tip I want to give you. All right, a little bit of flubbing by both sides. In the red ranks, it's not going to be about punishment necessarily. You can work on that if you want to. Nice heat smash. It's going to be both players getting comfortable piloting their characters, getting comfortable with combos, figuring out what moves they like. And what Elo Donator has gotten much better at is picking good moves. You can find the good moves by looking at high-level ranked. There's like ranked replay channels on YouTube. There's also tournament footage. Just searching your character and like high-level Tekken, you'll find it. But you'll notice it's not a lot of complicated gameplay. It's just he's picking these gigantic moves that Leroy can't get around. And that's my first tip is find your good moves. Just things that are big, that do damage, that start combos, that take up space. You'll see that when a lot of people are just learning the game for the first time, they kind of like play around with a lot of jabs. They'll pick a move that kind of looks funny. This guy's picking moves that the pros are using when they pick Bryan. And again, say you're giving tips to, or you're receiving tips as a lower ranked player. I'm not too worried about punishment at this level. I'm not worried if you're using moves that are unsafe. I want you to get used to playing Tekken with your character. And in this case, look, a basic mid-low mix-up, and then a really fast high that's hard to get around. Like, I don't know if you were paying attention, but Bryan just went up 2 rounds after losing the first. Now it's 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-1, and Leroy is mashing and gets perfected. So what happened there? I'm gonna let the gameplay replay while I talk about the specific tips. So he did a few things. He had these big mids and lows. The QCF 1+2 is that big shoulder. QCB3 is the big low hatchet kick. Big range, big damage. Great ways to start looking at good moves. But he was also using these fast highs to control Leroy. 1-2-1 and QCB1, that move. Big high punch, you have to duck it on a read or block it. And it comes out so fast from a huge range that it's not feasible to react to it. Right? He didn't really run many stance flow charts. That's something to also consider when you're playing at this level. But I liked the way he was just using Bryan's good moves. And then he started mixing up 1-2-1 and 1-2-3 at the end. So what is the benefit of this? Well, let's skip to the last round and look at what Leroy was doing here. Leroy starts mashing after eating a string. So 1, 2, 3. I think he starts 1, 2, 3. It might be 1, 2, 1. Spacing out with these giant moves. All right, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now notice what happens here. Bryan is +2, so he has a slight frame advantage. He chooses to frame trap with his 10 frame jab. Now, if you don't know what a frame trap is, I have a tutorial on that. Please check that out. It'll make all of these videos make way more sense. That's like prerequisite knowledge. All right. So now when he does 1, 2, 3 again, Leroy gets counter hit. Leroy mashes again and gets counter hit again. Just these very basic frame traps that Leroy doesn't understand. And that is so key to succeeding at early levels. All of that damage comes because Bryan is plus and just stays in frame. He plays a frame trap. That's what playing in frame means. It's where you have plus frames and you swing in a move with a move that's so fast your opponent can't interrupt it. And that entire round is won simply because of that. Other small tips for this Bryan player, our friend Elo Donator, and will work for many people in general, is when you're blocking, you'll see this in a few other matches down the line, is when you're blocking, don't tap back, just hold back. So if you look at how he loses the round here, notice how he's blocking. Look at the Bryan player's inputs. Tapping back, right? Now it's okay to tap back to backdash, but if you are trying to block something, you can get blown up for that. So I'm gonna pause it right before he dies here. Do you see how he tapped back and got jabbed in the neutral? This little gap here, that's where he got jabbed. If he simply held back, he'd be fine because this move is safe. It's -9. Jab is 10 frames. So it shouldn't hit him here, but because he was tapping instead of holding, he ends up losing an entire round, right? And again, we're going to see this a ton in the rest of the matches going forward. And then finally, if you're dropping your combos, even if you land the launcher, my recommendation is practice just the first few hits of your combo. So a lot of us will practice combos the whole way through in practice mode. Get the launcher, do everything, do the tailspin, etc. But it's easy to get into like kind of a mindless state of just doing the combo over and over again, and then your brain really locks in on mastering the end of the combo. So when it comes time in a real match, you get a launcher, you're kind of surprised, it's easy to drop the follow-up. So for this player and anyone else struggling with combos, I recommend just practicing that beginning part. Double knees and then the dash down 3, 1 plus 2, even though I don't think that's the optimal combo. Just practice those first few hits and then slow, and don't even do the end of the combo. And as you grind that out, you'll get more comfortable with just the beginning. You'll build that muscle memory. But yeah, Elo Donator playing way better than in our last Tekken Steps video, and we love to see it. There wasn't a lot of complicated mind games. There weren't a lot of advanced tactics or good defense. He just picked better moves and won, right? Sometimes that's all it takes. And I want to emphasize that as we look at our next player, Scoodles, the Tenryu Asuka. So he wins the first match and then loses the second match. This is going to be a great one to analyze because what worked well and what stopped working will be hopefully very apparent. Hopefully very apparent immediately. Now, I did go ahead and watch a high-level player, King Ray Jr. on Asuka, to give some move suggestions. We'll look at that later. For now, I want to focus on just look at the gameplay, and then we'll go through the tips separately. Okay, so what happens first? Asuka tries to do a snake edge, a super slow low, and gets interrupted by Kazuya's faster move. Okay, nice block on the low. Jab gets evaded. That's a little unlucky. That's something in the Kazuya matchup specifically. Nice block there, and then we get a launch. There is a punish you can do, but again, I'm not expecting much punishment here. Okay, so what happened here? How did we get hit? That's usually where I like to start. How did you get hit? You're 0 on block, and then he picks this move that's slower than Kazuya's next 15 frame move. So that's something to be aware of in the future. If your move is too slow, maybe pick a faster move after you blocked in that situation. Okay, snake edge goes under the high. That's what we want. Nice combo. Yep, jockeying a bit and then landing the heat smash in the open. Now here there's a lot of hesitation, and I get it because you're probably waiting for the rage art, right? But it's okay to eat a rage art in the first round. Right? You want to get information how your opponent's playing. If they're playing this passive, you can run up to a running 3, you can do running 1 plus 2, get some plus frames and do a mix-up. You can also just run up and do a low. You have a lot of options. The rage art is worth respecting, but in the first round, you'd rather get hit by it and learn. But here he backs up Kazuya to the wall, which is still good play. Just a bit slower than I'd like for Tekken 8. Run up Rage Art of his own, and... that was some high-level shit. Rage Art in neutral like that? That's some high-level shit. Okay, I like this. Big armor move into Snake Edge. That's what we like to see. Snake Edge is unsafe, but that's not a big deal right now because people aren't really blocking and punishing. Nice low parry from the Kazuya. Okay, heat smash in the open. Back 1-2. How did this happen, right? Because if you hit the heat smash, you're plus 11, right? You can look at Asuka's frames here. They swap sides, but the frames are still here. Asuka's plus 11. She should have the first action. So what happened? She just held forward. Tried to do a forward 3, I guess. And Kazuya mashed a faster move. So you have to act a bit sooner. That's fine. Down jab to get out of pressure. Running a big string. I like string offense. This is minus 19. So you actually, it's not only your turn, you get to punish him for free with like a forward 2. But it's okay. We don't know punishes yet. That's not a big deal. Nice. I like that he killed with the safer low. We saw that he liked Snake Edge, but he recognized it only took one more hit to kill. Let's just do something safe that won't get me murdered if they block it. A few block punish opportunities, but that's fine. Sidestep 2. Nice. 1+2. Big launch. Okay, twin pistons. What happened here? How did we get hit? We dropped the combo, did a slower move, and Kazuya mashed a faster move. No big deal. Okay, 4-hit string. Nice tech roll in the rear. Nice block. Yeah, taking your turn after you block a move is pretty important. It helps you understand sooner what is plus and what isn't. And this is going to kill. That was really good. So we killed with a bunch of just this 1+2 after plus frames, right? Whether it's a heat engage, the heat smash. That's just a basic frame trap, and I love it, right? How plus is the heat smash? Plus 10. This 16 frame move beats literally anything except like a parry. So very, very nice play. Take your plus frames, do a launching mid, do launching lows. Don't kill with risky moves. Probably a bit better to swing a bit more after you block something, just to figure out if it's safe or not. You can pick something fast. It doesn't have to be a crazy move. So the Asuka players looked like it was going really well, but in the rematch, they lost 3-0. So what went wrong? If you looked at the notes, you obviously know what went wrong. But focus on the gameplay. We'll go over the notes later. And there was some advice I gave to the last Bryan player is lab the launcher and then the next few hits, right? Don't lab the entire combo over and over and over again. That will help with combo drops. All right. So remember in the last match, we had big mid launchers, low launchers coming off of plus frame situations. Right here, the Kazuya does the same kind of setup, double down forward 1-2, and outspeeds our Asuka. Okay, quick string, forward 3+4. Nice block, we can punish that. Heat smash in the open. Okay, what do we do now? Get clipped by a mid, no big deal, and then a hell sweep. See how, like, the rage art is a good, like, good to find that rage art. That's not bad. But notice how passive we are trying to find that rage art and how much damage we take. It's okay to play defensive for sure. And that was a really good whiff reaction. But the higher level you go, if you sit totally still, it will start to become obvious that that's what you're looking for. That said, that was a good whiff punish, good reaction. That can be translated to non-rage situations as well. All right, then we duck on wake up. Sometimes you get hit. That happens. Down forward 1-2. Okay, backing up a bit. Swinging a bit too early into the string. Nice block. Forward 2. Okay, backing up. Nice block on the whole string. I like the patience. What happened here? Kazuya is -8. We pick forward 2. And he just happens to do his move faster. He's minus, but forward 2 is still pretty slow. Nice! I love this. Big mid launcher once again. Okay, backing up. When you back up, you let Kazuya play his mix-up, though. That's one downside, right? He gets to run up and hell sweep you. He gets to run up and heat smash you. That's the downside of not running your offense, is you get mixed up, right? Like, that round could have definitely been won if the Asuka did the snake edge or did the 1+2 mid. But because she just sat there, she ended up getting mixed up. Tower Crush gets thrown. That's unlucky. That's like a rock, paper, scissors interaction. Okay, heat burst now. Now it's our turn. Big low. Yes, mid low is the fundamental basis of Tekken. Even if it's an unsafe mid and an unsafe low, her mid is safe. But that's the very basics. Nice block in the hell sweep. Then he got blown up. Like, what happened? Like, how did the HP go so out of our favor? Right? It looked so ugly so quickly. Well, we dropped a combo and then tried to do an attack. So that's one place to fix right away. Right? We did back one. Probably should just block, because this gives Kazuya a big combo, even though he doesn't cash out. There's that situation where he's 0 on block and we're picking a move that's too slow. All we have to pick is like while rising 4. But he's picking back 1 again. Nice block in the hell sweep. Okay, another chance, and then we don't back roll. So it looks so ugly, right? But it's kind of hard, maybe if you're not an experienced player, to tell what happened. And in this case, for me, it's what was missing from the previous gameplay, right? Take a look at the notes now. The big lows and launching mids were what were winning before, but Kazuya seems to keep outspeeding us, right? So what's happening here? Right, we try the forward 1+2, but we're in crouch, so it doesn't come out. How do we get access to our high reward moves? And the answer is with plus frames. Plus, pick faster moves at first, or use your armor. Here's a big plus frame situation. Then take a mix-up after. So there are tons of good Asuka moves that aren't being represented here, that if you watch a high-level Asuka player play, you'll immediately be able to see. Again, that was a great reaction. But there are ways you can be playing instead of just hoping the snake edge hits, hoping the mid hits. You can set it up, right? So I want to go to this situation where we kind of stood still and just take over the Asuka and show some common situations based on what this high-level Asuka player King Ray Jr. does in his matches. So I have a list of moves below. Check those out if you're an Asuka player. If you're not, just look at the screen. Okay, so forward 2 here is okay. It's like a launcher, but it's really unsafe. It doesn't give us a situation after that sets us up for success. Right? Like forward 2 was too slow there as well. A good block. Ideally, we want to launch those, but no big deal. We want a situation like this, where we get a big mid into a launcher. But we're just blocking. So look at how we can play this situation. Look how we play this situation a little better. How do I take over? Right? We have this. We have this. We have tons of like mix-up options, especially with down 1+2. Down 1+2 is a key low that gives us a wake-up situation after. So that's one thing we can do immediately instead of just sitting still, right? But say you're afraid of him rage-arting. Again, you're not going to die. You can just play faster moves. If you have enough plus frames, it doesn't even matter. This move is plus 11. Plus 11 and leads to a launcher, running 1+2. So you can play the game in a way where you're still being proactive and not be open to as much risk. Forward 4 is a common plus frame move that goes into like a frame trap with standing 4. You can even do this and it will interrupt if they choose something slower, right? So take a look at moves that high-level players are using, learn a frame trap or two, and then it will completely change the way you play offense. Because instead of sitting here, I'm going to go back to the replay. Instead of sitting here waiting for them to blow their rage, you can pressure their HP, learn what they respond to, and, you know, just finish the life bar. But by sitting still, you let them get back into the game. And that's the biggest problem here. Right? Like, this should not have happened. The Kazuya should be the one defending after he eats this combo into Heat Smash. You press your advantage. But if you surrender all pressure, he's like, sweet. I can just play the game. I can just go for the hell sweep. I can just go low again. Right? Like, look at the lead completely vanish in just 2 interactions. You want to be doing this to them. Right? This round should not have been lost. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see that come up in tons of replays, to be honest. But that's a nice concrete example of how going too passive is actually really, really bad. Even though Asuka's traditionally a defensive character, there are tons of ways to continue the pressure. And honestly, this is Asuka specific, but people should be afraid to attack into her. She has tons of launching counter hit moves like down 3+4, down forward 2, back 3, up forward 3. It should be scary attacking her. So check out these moves in the lab. Let's move on to the next next match. Jin versus Reina. So this is, we're going down the ranks a bit, back to Garyu. And this one is really fascinating because all the matches are really, really close, right? Both of them are 2 to 3 losses. And these are kind of my favorite to review because you can see a lot of interaction. You can see things kind of work and you can see where things fail. So obviously, if you're getting a coach or reviewing your own replays, it doesn't have to be all of these close ones. But for me, these are my favorite. When I watch high-level play, I like watching matches where they win so I can see what works. When I watch my gameplay, I like watching close-ups. So Jin versus Reina. Okay, we can actually block here, right? We just hit the back button a little too late because we're committed to doing a string. 2-1-4. All right, big demon paw. I like this. Forward 4, goes into stance. Okay, we mashed in the middle of the string. Okay, eat the grab, that's fine. You have to duck that on a read. Little back swing into Zen stance. Cool stuff. So this guy has a really clear idea of like the offense they want to run. They like the backswing stance. They like the demon paw. They like forward 4, forward, forward 4. I like this. That's not a punish, but that was sick. Crouch, block the low into attempted launcher. I like that. 2-1-4. Nice. Setting the pace. Okay, the mid doesn't hit. The electric does hit. Do you see how it feels like they're really playing the game compared to the Asuka player? Not that one style is completely better or worse. It's just important to note the difference. Passive play and active play always have a place. It just, these are kind of both ends of the extremes. Nice. Okay. Blocking a bit. There's a 4th hit on that string. There's a 2nd hit on that string. We saw that already. There's a okay, nice block. Throw breaks I think are important to try to learn, but I don't expect you to have it really down at red ranks yet. Okay, little back turn situation. What happened here? After that move, you give up your turn. You're so minus that there's not a lot you can do. I want to see what went wrong there. Unfortunately, I cannot move or skip the stage transition, but we'll go back to round 2, and I'll just go to the end and pause and look at the inputs right at the very end. This was a pretty good round, aside from the missed throw break and other situations. All right, I'm going to pause as soon as possible. So look here. What did Ocala Phoenix do? Forward, forward 4, so it's not your turn anymore. Let's look at the frame data specifically. -7. So you pretty much can't do anything, right? If you're going to jab, it has to be faster than a 17 frame move. Ocala Phoenix is back and then Heat Smash. Right now, Jin's Heat Smash is pretty quick, but when you're -7, it's no longer a fast move, right? It's slower than a jab. And in this case, his Heat Smash is a similar speed to Reina's Heat Smash. Let me pull up the actual frame data here. Jin, in my Discord, we have a frame data bot. I'm gonna look up Reina and Jin's Heat Smash. Heat 2+3. So Jin's is a 15 frame move, and Reina's is a 21 frame move, right? But Jin is -7. So that becomes a 22 frame move versus Reina's 21 frame. So it's already slower. But because the Jin backdashed, it's even slower than the -7. It's like really, really, really slow. So if you're gonna do a Heat Smash, you probably want to do it in neutral where you're moving around and there's no concrete frame disadvantage that's, you know, making your move much slower. Okay, I love string offense. That string is like scrubby because a high-level player will block the low, but at this point in time, getting comfortable fighting with and against that, I think, is really good. Love the Demon Paw. Again, love the string offense. How did we get hit by all this? You should be able to block here, but oh, Jin is crouching, and then the next hit combos. String defense. Okay, this is also questionable, right? Reina is in the middle of 4-4-2. She's +2. Really, you can only jab here. And we try to Heat Smash again. Heat Smash is good, but not that good. Wow, that was a crazy confirm by the Reina. Okay, and then we got counter hit again. I'm willing to bet that was a Heat Smash. It's important to recognize, like it's important to recognize where the situation is like not favorable for you, right? I think I'm supposed to rerun round 3, not round 4. Yeah, round 3. My replay mode noob. It's important to recognize like the speed of your moves and kind of the frame situation. And given this player is newer to the game, so it's hard to expect that recognition. But these are the situations you want to start paying attention to so you can build that recognition. Right? So look at this here. Look at Jin's inputs. Reina's 1-1, so she's -1. And the heat smash just loses to a simple jab. He played 2 out of frame, opposite of in frame. The Reina was technically out of frame too at -1, but the moves are so fast, it's not that big of a deal. 1-3-4. I like that this player uses a lot of Jin's move list, right? Like that might, like it's important to be comfortable with what your character can do to see what's useful. I like the sidestep hop kick. It was just a bit slow. And that was a good whiff punish. That was crazy. Both players played pretty well here. I like the forward too. It was a bit misspaced, and the Reina backdash and whiff punishes it. That was well played. Good move selection from Jin. Good spacing from the Reina. Okay. Again, a little bit passive at range. That gives the Reina the opportunity to feel comfortable enough to do the hell sweep. Nice throw that counter hits. Now what do we got? Heat burst. Okay, nice block him there, heat burst. Jab, jab, down 2. Unlucky, she blocked it. Sometimes you get blocked. And then a heat smash in neutral, right? Both players are kind of like, who's going to make the next move? That's when Jin's heat smash is good. Not after you blocked something or they blocked something, but in the open when it's kind of ambiguous. Who can go next? There's the 2-hit string. We need to be blocking that. Okay. Down 2. Jin running a bit more offense, which I like. Throws are really good. Throws are like lows, right? When you do a throw and your opponent doesn't know how to break it, you can use it like a low because they have to duck it, and that gives you access to mids. What happened here? Okay, Jin was just ducking. Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong. You're ducking and you get hit by a mid. Okay, we tapped forward and got hit. That's rough. And then no throw break. So a lot of good offensive ideas from the Jin player. A few out-of-frame situations, and then multiple string situations where he was pressing when the string wasn't over yet, right? Let's look at the next game and see what continues to show up. Did we just play on the stage? What's with the loading time? Thank you. 2-1. Yep, I like the 2-1 string. Nice, that jab was actually a punish. Standing 4. Nice, forward, forward, forward. I like Demon Paw better. I think Demon Paw is better almost 90% of the time. Something to know is that you can back roll the Stonehead throw. So if you eat this throw, or you can tech roll this throw. So you can tech roll by mashing 1 or 3 so that you don't take a free wake-up hit. Okay, nice little float. Nice conversion. That's something I really like already. The combo comfort is there. Recognizing that you floated somebody and converting it into a tornado is not easy for an early level player. So that's really good. Okay, backswing, Zen 1. Zen up 1, I think. Okay, interrupting the string. A little scary. Counter hits. There's a confirm there. If you counter hit standing 4, you get a free 1+2 or a down forward 1-4. So that's worth also practicing. Big sidestep can. Okay. You can see ideas of like high level Tekken coming through, which is really, really cool to see. Okay. Standing 4, down 2 counter hits, and they're ready for the combo. Nice heat burst. So this player has nice offensive ideas, lots of move list understanding, and lots of combo awareness, which is really cool. And that's honestly most of what you need to succeed at this level. So where is it going wrong? Eats a rage art. Eats a low, that's fine. Whiff punish, there's a guaranteed 1+2. So he missed a few opportunities, and then Reina gets a nice down jab. Not the end of the world, but worth learning that counter hit confirm. Standing 4 in the 1+2. Trying to use Zen stance to backswing a little bit. Eats a raw electric. There's the 2-hit string again. We have to learn to block this. So this is becoming a consistent issue. Every time she does this move, the Jin player is not ready. And again, being fresh to a game, it's okay to make these defensive mistakes. It's understandable. Weird taunt from the Reina. But that's something you can immediately clean up. Because the Jin's player's offense and combos are so good that they just need the HP to do it. So as long as you're not taking free damage, you have plenty of opportunities to get your launch and get your combo. Okay, wall break. So the lesson from this match is going to be a bit simpler than one might think. There's the 2-hit string once again. And it's easy to see in retrospect, but it's hard to see in combat. That's why replay analysis is so good. And just starting with like, where did I get hit is a good start. We should be using the heat smash with the kick because it gives huge plus frames. This is only +3. If I do this here, bro, I cannot. You get +21, right? +21 is way better than +3. So we should be using the heat smash that ends in the kick. Right? And if it hits, obviously you get a combo too. Anyways, back to the replay. Because she mashed. She would not have been able to mash if we did the other one. Nice conversion off Wall Rising 2. Again, the Jin player has really good combos. Dive kick, nice. That was a really good rage art. Rage art to interrupt the stance is really good there. And then he runs up and baits the rage art. This was really solid play. And then the perfect punish. This Jin player, I think, has clearly watched high-level Jin. They know which moves to try. They know like some situations. They know how to punish with like can. This seems like someone who's either involved in the Jin community or watches high-level Jin play, right? They don't do a lot of wave dash stuff, but that's because they're probably newer to the game. Instead, they do Zen stuff. Nice sidestep throw. But like, this looks really good. So where does it go wrong, right? Small Tekken, I like this. Ducking the throw. That works if you can't break them. Forward, 4. Raw can. Crazy, but it works. I would hop kick instead. It's a bit safer. Down 4. Heat burst. Keep the pressure. Oh, he tries to do a dive kick and gets sniped. That's one place where heat smash is actually good. And then we get hit. How do we get hit here? He tries to heat smash on wake up. And then it's a free kill. One more chance. Nope, he gets stepped on. So the moral of this story, and the reason why I showed the gameplay so in depth, is because I wanted you to see how strong the Jin player was at attacking and how strong the combo game was. You're doing a lot of the right work, but you need to start avoiding taking so much damage so you can continue to capitalize on those opportunities, right? So it's important to start understanding at a basic level what is safe and what isn't, right? -10 or worse means that you are guaranteed to get a punish after. So we were doing some moves that were minus after, like the down 3, 4, 4, being -7 or -8, and then continuing to attack is not the best, right? Because your move is going to be so much slower because of the frame disadvantage. Heat Smash is a good button, but it's slower when you're minus or after you blocked something. So it's good to use in the open when you're like moving around trying to get the first hit. Or if you have plus frames already, right? And then strings are 2 to 4 hits. Reina did that 2-hit string over and over again. Reina had a 4-hit string. You need to block. That's the first thing. Is like, it's okay to block a full string, watch them finish it, and then take your turn. The more you see the string and see where the blocks can be done, the better. Obviously, it takes time as you build comfort and get comfortable looking at what your opponent's doing, but that's a good place to start. At this level, people are going to spam strings, so you get a lot of chance to see them. A lot of chances to see them. But you can also use this to your advantage, right? You're always doing 2-1-4 or 2-1-4-4. You could do 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, delay 4, right? You have a 3-hit string. You can make them think you're only going to do 2 hits, then do the third. The Jin hit a forward 3-1 because Reina thought it was a 1-hit situation, not a 2-hit situation, right? So, surviving the strings, not mashing Heat Smash at severe minus, that alone, just so you survive longer, you're going to find your combos, you're going to find your launches, you're going to win. So if you're like an offensive player, there are situations where you need to learn to block. Watch your replays, see how you got launched, check the frame data, right? Are you mashing when you're super minus, right? That's the big question. Are you mashing when super minus, right? And if so, don't. Next we have Shrimpy, the Yoshimitsu player. By the way, if you guys think this content is good, you like the music in the back, I'm experimenting with this format as we get to the higher ranks. So let me know what you're enjoying, what you're not enjoying, and we'll continue to improve this series. Let's watch Shrimpy. Shrimpy, again, having some really close matches. And Yoshimitsu is really, really strong in this game. And understanding why is hard, because he has so many moves. Like, learning Yoshi as a new player is kind of hard. He has so many moves, and if you watch pro matches, they don't do a lot. They kind of move around a lot, but they don't really commit to much. So I would actually watch high-ranked Yoshimitsus on the leaderboard. Look at their replays or on YouTube. So right away, Shrimpy is doing unsafe armor moves, which again, I don't care too much about, but he's also, notice like the passive play. He's standing at a distance waiting for Law to come in. That's okay stylistically. We can improve it and make it look better. 3-2, I like using different strings. That's a strong concept to apply early in Tekken. Okay, he does the stance and then he does a mix-up. I like that. Oh, I did not mean to skip ahead. Sorry. Yep, 3-1 stance. Let me remove that little thing so you can see. All right, so look at what Yoshi did. Yoshi does 3-1 and then does the mid. I like this. Right? Threatening a stance mix-up option. He did the low, then he does the mid. Sometimes it's not as simple as just doing switching the option right away, but it doesn't hurt to play it to find out. Right? Sometimes it can be a bit obvious if you switch mid. Oh, they blocked it, go low, then they blocked it mid, you know, mid-low, mid-low. Sometimes you got to do the same option multiple times. He's spacing out, threatening to heal. 3-2 from a distance. Nobody's going to punish that yet. But I think if you're going to be using that string, the 3-1 is better. 3-2 is the, like, they keep ducking. If they duck your option, then you use 3-2. Okay, down 2-2, and then we're so minus that the heat smash beats whatever we try to do next. Shrimpy down around. Okay, power low with down back 1. Nice. That does, like, 40% off just 2 hits. That's really good. We can block the second hit here. This is the same issue as Elo Donator. Tapping back or just holding neutral instead of holding back. You can block the second hit of this if it's not counter hit. But Shrimpy wasn't holding back until he got hit. Right? So keep holding back to block. Don't tap. Okay, 2-2. 3-2. 3-1. Yes, 3-1 is better. 3-1 is better because you go into the stance, you have plus frames, and then he goes for the throw. So Shrimpy understands at a basic level how the stance mix-up works and hits an unblockable.
Round 3. Fight.
Okay, Duck tries to go for the unblockable sweep, but Law is just hitting buttons. That's one thing that's hard to copy if you watch high-level Yoshis, is the opponents usually respect what they have to do, so you can find the sweep. But at low level where they're just hitting buttons, you're not going to get the unblockable sweep very much. Down jab. He tries to take out the sword. Interesting choice. 3-2. Tries to finish, but the bit of delay gets interrupted. Picks up on the fact that Law is trying to interrupt and then just finishes the string again. Ay, flip kick, but no combo. Nice. Stance low. So Shrimpy is kind of a hybrid of the two last matches we saw. They clearly know their moves, kind of like the Jin player. At least the stance moves. But they play a bit passive like the Asuka player in the open. But it's not a passive, like, sitting and waiting completely. Shrimpy is trying to get the opponent to run into their moves, right? And that's really good. We can refine that style with some better moves. Back 2-2 is unsafe. The high is duckable. It's nice when it hits, but we can optimize that. Okay. How did this combo start? Down 2-2-2. Down 2-2-1 gets interrupted, right? Down 2-2, down 1. So that's the first move I want to improve. Down 2-2 is a good move, but not that good. There are better Yoshimitsu moves to serve this purpose. Right? He's standing back, trying to get the Law to come in. He also breaks a fundamental Tekken defensive rule here. When you take a hit, you are usually so minus that you have to block. Usually. So here, he eats a jab. Law is +8. Law's +8. Almost anything Law does will beat you. Down forward 2 is way faster than your jab if you just ate a jab. So jabbing after you take a hit, especially like a jab, is so risky. It's so risky. Just on a fundamental Tekken level, you will never outspeed another fast move when you're -8. All right, trying to keep him out from a distance. This is fine for Yoshimitsu if you pick better moves. 1-1 is too stubby. Back 2-2, way too far. Unsafe. Duckable. The Law just finds his way in between these moves.
Final round. Fight.
Nice 3-2 from a distance. If that were a 3-1, it would heat engage, turn into a combo. 3-2 should be like 20% of the time if your opponent is just consistently ducking your 3-1. But if they're not ducking it, just run the 3-1, run the stance mix-up. right? You're +7, you get tons of options. Yes, there's the heat engage. And Shrimpy recognizes this. He's not ducking it. I'm going to keep doing it. If your mix-up fails, don't worry about it. 3-1 again. I love it. Shrimpy's making the adjustment slowly but surely. Back 2-2. Gets interrupted between the two hits because back 2-2 is not the best move choice here. 1-1-2. Bad breath from a distance is good keep out. 3-2, 1+2. Ah, and then he tries to back 2-2. So let's... That was less of a keep out issue because he got armored through anyways. But we can make Yoshi's keep out so much scarier, right? We can make his keep out so much scarier. I listed the moves right here. These are moves that you'll see the high level Yoshi players use, right? So again, if you watch a high level Yoshi player winning, or depending or whatever character you use, that's super important. So look at these moves. Instead of down 2-2, which is slow and interruptible, that does cover a lot of space. And instead of this, which is nice when it hits, but when it's far away, it doesn't do enough, right? You want these moves. 3 slide 4, which is where you hit 3 and then 4 really, really quickly after. Not at the same time, but like plinking it. This move is insane. It's so hard to get around. It can go into the dragonfly stance if you hold up. Or you can choose to not do it, right? The downside is if you go into stance, they can float you out if they block it. But you can mix them up back by doing 3-4 and then ducking. If you do 3-4 duck and then launch them, they'll be afraid to jab. You get a free mix-up next time in the dragonfly stance. If you watch Trizzy the Rapper, he likes doing this a lot. Other keep-out move that's we didn't see one time is Yoshi's basic down forward 2. Look at how far this move goes. About like 2 or 3 backdashes away. This one does the same thing, but it's safer. It can also go under jabs, which the law was doing a lot. Basic uppercut is so good. Do not sleep on this move as your keep out. If you're going to stay back and try and zone them, look at how good that move is. Look at how good this move is. They're both safe. They're both huge mids that are like impossible to evade. One starts a combo, the other doesn't. And then finally, you can supplement that with a low keep out. This is a counter hit launcher. So people, if they're playing at a distance trying to run up to you, are usually not ready to block a low. It's different if they run up and do like a running move that like jumps up like this. Law has one of those. But it's great to mix in between your mid keep out, right? You have low keep out and mid keep out. So experiment with that. This is relevant in the next Yoshi replay, but we don't have to watch that because they play pretty similar in both. But 3-1 frame traps into this, but you can't hesitate, right? That's an important little detail. If you're going for a frame trap, don't hesitate. But yeah, so the Yoshi player, solid game plan of trying to play from distance, solid move selection, but just not the best move selection in neutral, right? So when I say good move selection, it was in the mix-up situations, the stances. But in neutral, they had better moves to use. And to be honest, if they just use the better moves, the matches go differently. The matches go differently because the threats are so much different. Let me just show you. Let me show you. I said I wasn't going to show it, but I think this is really important to see.
For the next battle.
This is Shrimpy once again. And I think the issues become more apparent against this Jin player. Manji spin kicks. I like this low. You'll see that a lot at high level. Down 2-2 again. Okay, so Jin gets hit by the third hit of the string, which is fine. It's good to throw it out once in a while. Nice conversion. But down 2-2 is just less scary and has a lot more counterplay than the other moves. Down forward 2 and 3-4. Right here, like, this could be down forward 2. This could be 3-4. Back 2-2 is unsafe and very risky. Same thing here, right? At this distance, when you're trying to clip them with the mid, why not throw out the launcher? Right, at this distance. Down forward 2 is really good here. 3 slide 4 is good here. Look at this. Oops, I started my replay thing too late. Look, down forward 2 is in range. Down forward 2 is in range. 3-4 is in range. This full crouch low is in range. Right? This is super good. Try these moves instead. And if you're not a Yoshi player, The lesson is to watch high-level gameplay and try and see what moves they're using and try and use them. You're not going to get it perfect. You're not going to understand why necessarily, but it will help a lot. 1-1 in the open. See all these down 2-2s that could just be these higher reward moves? Nice low parry. PhiDX combo. 3-2, 1+2. Jin can actually launch that, so be careful. I like that you're using it, but again, default to 3-1. Make them duck it. The 3-1 is scarier because it's plus frames, goes into mix-up. The 3-2 is like your adjustment, right? To make them stop ducking. Right? Like, you get nothing if they block all that, and all they have to do is stand block. This is the one you want to run more often. Yep, and Shrimpy recognizes that. You can just start sooner with the plus frame high. Okay, blocking, blocking, blocking. I love the blocking. I love the blocking. Shrimpy understands that when they have plus frames, it's not your turn. Okala Phoenix, the Jin player, can take notes from Shrimpy. Everybody can collaboratively learn here. This is really good. 2-2, nice spacing. Get the counter hit. Power low attempt. Big low attempt, I like that. 2-hit string and Jin mashes. String offense. Shrimpy has great, like, string knowledge and mix-up knowledge. It's just the move choices in neutral are less good, right? Nice power crush, that's fine. Like, the things that make Yoshi really obnoxious outside of just the mix-ups are not being represented, and that's what we want to see. See, this down two is textbook. Look at this. They trade, which means they hit on the exact same frame. Down 2 here is 16 frames. You know what would have been fast enough? Down forward 2 is 15 frames. If he mashed it at the same time, he would have beat the Jin altogether. But because he picked a worse move, look at how much damage he's taking. He could have turned a combo into like a winning, into like a round winning situation. He tries to low parry and gets blown up by mid. That happens. That's, you know, it's not the end of the world. Okay. There's a guaranteed follow-up there with forward 1+2. And then we do the unsafe version again. Jin hasn't shown you that he's ducking. Just run the high. You know, just run the high. Is Shrimpy my three-legged hamster? You're thinking of Stumpy. Manji spin kicks. And look at this too. Great low usage in the early rounds. Using it here. But then Shrimpy just kind of stops using the lows and just presses more down 2-2. Down 2-2 is not that good. Right? Like, what if we did more lows because the Jin is just standing or jabbing and we can go underneath them? What happened here? He presses back 4 trying to spin out of the way, but you're minus 17, so you're not really spinning out of that. 1-1, okay. Still in the game. 3-2, should be 3-1. If he did 3-1, it hits. It literally hits and he gets a mix-up. Right? Because he hit with that one. It's fully natural. Good block in the heat smash. Good block, or the low doesn't amount to much. This is that hesitation point I'm talking about. This should not be interrupted if you go immediately. You're +7. The helicopter should outspeed this. Right? I took over to mash it as quickly as possible. I'm taking control of the Yoshimitsu. I'm mashing. It beats the jab. But because Shrimpy hesitated, he lost the frame advantage and loses his kill opportunity. So if you're going to do a frame trap, don't hesitate. Jab gets counter hit. This is ugly. Jin does a PhiDX combo. Ducks under. Oh! So do you see how if the Yoshi picks better moves, none of this happens? Right? They have good lows, they have good mix-ups, but in neutral, they're not using the strong OP moves. So do the strong OP moves. All right. We're on to our last match, and then we'll look at all the takeaways, all the lessons from these matches. This is a Tenryu Lili who is on promotion to purple rank. So they're right on the border. I like to look at successes at the end of these, right? I think it's really cool to see people start to implement the things that'll work. And they're pretty similar, as you'll find, regardless of where in the color rank you are. Even between the ranks, the gameplay can be pretty similar. So this can apply to you, whether you're Garyu, whether you're even orange rank. And we saw it earlier with Elo Donator, the Bryan player. There are a lot of basic concepts that work, and this Lili player applies other basic concepts that also work really well. All right, let's take a look. So So this one, they actually lose at first. 1-1. Nice little mix-up with the low. Stance mix-ups are great at all levels of play, but especially to learn early on. Forward 4 counter hit attempt. 1-1. Tries to do a mix-up, but gets interrupted. Ooh, nice backswing from the Azucena. Cartwheel whiffs. I like the cartwheels being used because the move is really good, but whiffing is generally a bad thing, especially when the move has that much range already. Eating the heat smash.
Round 2. Fight.
Okay, Matterhorn gets clipped. I like the attempt. I've never seen that interaction in my entire life. Okay, here, what happened? Does the class know what happened here? This string isn't natural, only on counter hit. But Lili is tapping back instead of holding back. And because of that, she gets hit in the neutral time in between. Hold back, don't tap back when you're trying to block. Oh man, gets counter hit in the open. 2 rounds for Azucena.
Round 3. Fight.
Okay, 1-1. And then a different stance option. Nice, but the Azucena is still standing. Snake Edge going underneath. Decent combo. Like, that was an awkward situation. Down forward 4-4. Wow, got mashed out of. Again, tapping back instead of holding back. Hold back the block. Very, very important. Whiffing the cartwheel. And then sometimes you duck and die. Like, this is fine. But it's also worth noting that the Azucena hasn't done that many crazy lows, right? Except for the one where you tap back and got hit in the neutral guard. Ducking this early when a combo kills you is a little scary, right? In general, stand blocking is the less risky move. I like the block there, but now we don't have enough HP and then we die. So that one looked ugly, but Trap House Luigi, our Lili player, comes back with very effective gameplay in the rematch. This is actually game 3. They had a game 1 earlier and I showed you game 2. This is game 3. So we have the tapping back issue, we have the whiffing cartwheel issue, and then initially a lot of ducking. But let's see what changes. And mashing during strings, right? That's kind of a common thing in Red Rank, mashing during strings, because people aren't familiar with each other's moves.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, mashing to interrupt, which works out fine this time. That back turn option isn't very good. We're tapping back again, that's why we ate that launcher. It didn't have to happen. Okay, eating a low is okay. We're stand blocking. Got caught mashing again. Okay, running a big heat engager. I like that. 1-1 interrupt. That's not a good mix-up option, but I think it might be a misinput if they're trying to do. No, I think they're doing that on purpose. Yeah, that's not as good as the other options. Back turn 1+2. Mashing in the middle of the string, but again. That happens. Just remember that strings are 2 to 4 hits, and you need a block. That combo actually dropped, but that's fine. No big deal. Okay, Azucena playing in the middle of the string. You can use that to your advantage. This is a small mistake, but the down forward 4 whiffed. And Azucena, I don't think they meant to whiff punish that, but yeah. Being careful about the whiffs is going to be pretty important, even though Lili has a lot of range. There we go. Tip range forward 4. Nice playing the mid. I love that. Little error on the follow-up, but that's fine. We get the kill.
Round 3.
So this player is using great stance mix-ups, great big buttons that are hard to deal with. The Matterhorn, 3 run forward 4. Nice combo damage too. So they're getting more comfortable with their character, which is a common Red Rank thing right away. Just getting more used to playing. How did we get hit here? Okay, we started ducking. It looked like a Korean backdash attempt. Bit hard to do in that situation. Tapping back instead of holding back. You see these common issues showing up, like, frequently? And it costs you so much HP when it happens. But these players have decent offense, so as long as they just survive long enough to run that offense, it's usually fine. What a low parry. I like the combo attempt. There's optimization you can do here, like back 2-1 to kill. I think it's literally like 1 hit off. Oh no, it's a few. I don't know the best combo here, actually. Let me try it. Just a quick little segue. I don't think this kills, but it's closer. tapping back is bad. Okay, so it's closer. There's probably a combo that kills here, like with QCF3, but I'm not gonna lie to you and try and figure out the best one. Either way, it's not the end of the world that the combo didn't kill. So I'll skip the next rage art. They run up. And then Lili gets rage arted, going for the kill, which I don't mind. Again, it's important data that your opponent did this to try to get the kill. So you can adjust for that in the next play. Okay, sidestep attempted, second hit. Tapping back got you killed. I'm a broken record, but it's an important lesson for many people to break this habit. Wow, this is looking really ugly. 1-1. Yes, the low sweep. Running your stance mix-ups. Okay, counter hit. Waiting for the whiff. That was genius. Staying in back turn and Azucena whiffed. Oh my god. It's over. Azucena trolled. Azucena's trolling. Why? And then we hit the lesson here is don't play with your food. And if your opponent trolls, take advantage. Forward 4. Nice blocking. I like the blocking here. There's many chances to mash because of all the string cancels. I like the blocking. Nice cartwheel. This one didn't whiff. Wall combo does less damage, but it looks cool. The wall throw, I mean, so that's cool. DF4-4. This whiff is scary because this whiff got you killed before. You know? Like, you're so far. Understanding that wake-up situation is going to be pretty important. Nice 1-1 interrupt and then low sweep. So what worked well? Big buttons and stance mix-ups. Right? Like, the gameplay... There's not a gigantic gameplay difference between these skill levels. You'll just notice that the players that are succeeding are getting tons of damage with big buttons and mix-ups and aren't dying as quickly, right? There are things that get people killed that reduce their chances to play the game. We saw it with the Jin player, right? Constantly trying to heat smash got them killed more often than not, but if they had waited and blocked and played the next interaction, their offense was so good, their combos were so good, they would probably win anyways. The Yoshimitsu player was picking shitty moves, but if, like, the mix-ups themselves were good. So sometimes picking better moves can just give you better pressure, right? The Asuka player had a similar issue of giving up all pressure instead of picking good moves. And then we saw, go back and watch the Bryan player. Go back and watch our former friend Elo Don. Actually, here we go. I saved one replay. I thought that far ahead. This is when Elo Donator was an Eliminator, right? Like an orange rank. And look at how the gameplay is so simple, but just by picking better moves, it looks hard to win. And again, we find what the better moves are by watching high-level players, watching pro play, talking to other players. Anything helps, just to guide you into the right direction.
Round 1.
So look at this. Look at his gameplay. It's nothing crazy. QCB1 is a guaranteed follow-up. QCF1 plus 2. Hatchet kick. Do you see how he has a half HP lead just by doing moves that are good? He's not dying when the bear is swinging. He has more HP, so he can keep getting chances to play the game. He's just blocking. We're not seeing any crazy punishes. We're not seeing any crazy defense. He's just blocking to survive the strings and then doing his good moves. It might feel silly and painfully simple, but that's how far you can get early on. Like, he didn't launch punish that. Am I making fun of him? No. He's a valued member of the community, even though he left my Discord recently. I remember that. Look at this, just blocking. Never mind. Okay, he's mashing in between the string again. Do you see the difference, right? He's providing both examples here. He's mashing in the middle of the string, and now his HP is suddenly way lower, and he has less chances to win. Oh, that was a fire rage art from the Kuma. Get shit on. That happens, sorry. Okay, he tried to use his good move, and Kuma just sniped him. Sometimes that happens. Wow, the Kuma is actually cooking. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Advantage, back one, plus frames, 1-2-1 is a frame trap. I love frame traps. Learn your frame traps. Just one. Just learn one frame trap, and all of you will succeed so much. Big whiff. What do we got? Okay, QCF1 plus 2. He's made up all the... This Kuma's the GOAT, bro. Did we even win this one? I thought we won this one. This Kuma's rage arts are fire. So let's see how Elo Donator adjusts to the rage arts. big whiff. Okay, 1-2-1. The bear mashed at minus. There it is. Big buttons. Big good buttons. This round is looking so good. Plus frames, 1-2-1. Frame trap. It's so simple. Frame trap twice. Okay, a bit of a lucky situation there with the sidestep move. No punish, so we just do our good moves. Nice. That's a punish. Do you see how all these... So you see that push is minus 12, right? And that move is minus 12 also. That's why Elo Donator is getting all these free jabs. That's minus 13, actually. I'm a noob. Just free damage. Simple moves. Nice block. See, he didn't get a lot of fancy Bryan counter hits. He just blocked and then took his turn with good moves. You know? Sometimes it's so simple. So I know it can seem very confusing when you're in your rank dealing with these issues. So let's summarize in a way that is very general, no matter what character you play. All right, learn one frame trap. Our Bryan friend had a simple frame trap that got him so much damage. So much damage. Find the good big moves. Watch pros or high level ranked where they win. Find your big range moves that do launchers or heat engagers. Heat engagers tend to be good moves. Fast highs can slow down your opponent. So the Lili was doing 1-1. Bryan was doing 1-2. Not every character has good jabs, but it's an option to understand that you do have, right? Asuka has the fast high armor, for example. Stance flowcharts. Learn how to get into your stance and then 2 or 3 options. The Yoshimitsu player, they knew how to get into stance. They had like a mid, a low, and then like a high. Just run those. Do a lot of lows. The Lili player won when they kept doing the sweep out of stance. Right? That is so important to do a lot of lows. The Asuka player was winning with the big snake edges. Armor moves are good, and then if you have strings, run your strings. The big one also is you have to block to avoid dying. If you want to run your offense, you need enough HP to run your offense, you have to block. Strings are 2 to 4 hits. So after you eat a hit, strings are 2 to 4 hits. If you block and you keep getting like, oh, their string was still going, wait and actually count to like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocked hits. And then take your turn after. Again, look at Elo Donator versus the bear. He just blocked the 3 hit punches and then took his turn. Some players here were eating a hit like a jab and then trying to mash out after. You usually have to block in this game when you take a hit. There are a few exceptions where moves are minus on hit. Some lows are minus on hit. But it's worth building the habit of you see a hit spark, you see you took damage, you block after. Most of these people have gotten better at blocking on wake up. The Jin player was trying some heat smashes. Those could have been heat burst attempts if you forgot that you're in heat. But blocking when you wake up is also pretty important. And then don't tap block. A bunch of people were tapping. You want to hold back if you're going to block. Understanding opponents' wake-ups. The main point of this is that if you drop a combo, you don't want to keep forcing the combo because they can end up interrupting you and launching you, and you lose a ton of HP. So if you're trying to force a wake-up situation or a combo and you mess up, it can cost you a lot of HP. So it's important to pay attention to that as well. And finally, if you're dropping your combos, just practice the first few hits. Don't insist on doing the whole combo in practice mode. That's like a traditional way to learn combos. Usually, a combo might happen by surprise, right? I didn't expect to get that launcher. What's the next move again? If you grind just the first few hits, stop and re-grind it over and over, just those, you'll get used to just the beginning part of the combo instead of zoning out and then just doing the ender. And, you know, it's little exercises like that that can really help. So hopefully you enjoyed Tekken Steps for red ranks. Again, it's going to be pretty similar to the content from yellow and orange ranks, just you're more comfortable with your character. So revisit those. The lessons there are still definitely helpful, and we'll be going into purple ranks and blue ranks in the future. It'll be a bit slower as we get to those. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and a comment if you did. Subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.